Ahoy there, it's me, Kevin, of Cinema Swirl fame. You know, the podcast you've after clicking on totally on purpose. I've got a super special announcement for you, a hardcore member of the Cinema Swirl fan base. That's right, you beautiful person with your own individual feelings and thoughts. You can now avail yourself of the brand new Cinema Swirl logo t-shirt, which is available to buy now over at Etsy. Just search for Cinema Swirl logo tee on Google or go over to Etsy and search for it there. They're £15 plus shipping to the UK and US. Or wherever it is you lay your hat. I'm telling you, that's your home. And now for the hard sell. These are screen printed, heavy cotton, black t-shirts. They're awesome, they're good quality, so be sure to get yours now. And also as well, extra super secret bonus, because we're kind of making and sell them ourselves. Well, to be more exactly, Sam is doing all the envelopes and stuff. He thought it's a good idea that we could include old bits of notes which we've done from previous episodes, because for some reason we've kept every single bit of notes we've ever taken for Cinema Swirl, and other than using them as kindling or for lining on a budgie's den, we thought the best use was to send them to you, the people who are getting these awesome t-shirts. So go over and check them out on Etsy. They are not available at the car boot sale in Skegness, being sold out of a van as I previously suggested to Sam, but they are available to get now for £15. Check them out. They're perfect for the OTP in your life. A long time ago in a podcast not too far away, it's Cinema Swirl, episode 20. Hello once again, I'm Kevin, joined in this traipse through galactic tinsel town, knocking on the various doors of George Lucas and all the people who are going to make the movies without him, in spite of him, by Sam Chaplin, who's not seen any of those films. Hello Sam.
Hi.
How's things?
Good. Yeah.
Star Wars,
'tis the season.
It's fucking everywhere.
It is everywhere. It is everywhere.
This is great, because when we started this podcast, I mean, now 20 episodes in, first of all, let's pat ourselves on the back there, champ, area. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Patting ourselves on the back there. 20 episodes, which I'm rather impressed with.
Yeah.
21 if you include the one that is basically an episode. So
where I make the Darth Vader noise the whole time.
Yeah, if you really want to see what it's like if Kevin and Sam joined the dark side of the Force, RoboCop, let's go check it out, you know. But when we started this, God, this was like, what, 2 and a bit years ago, maybe when we first started Cinema Swirl?
4 and...
it was a long time ago, in a part of Lincolnshire far, far away. Like minutes down the road.
Yeah.
But I didn't think when we started this that I would be, or this podcast would be arming you with the ability to comprehend
a new Star Wars
and the hype going around it. Because obviously, this is the midst of Star Wars fever. Before we even talk about the movie or anything, what's it been like embraced in Star Wars fever and not being completely left out this time?
I mean, the weird thing is, it's made me want to be left out because I'm reacting very badly to Star Wars being everywhere.
So, I mean, the Star Wars Subway ads, not your...
That was the thing I was going to...
Really?
Yeah, I was in Subway, and there was some little promotion which is like, oh, if you like galaxies far, far away, you'll like sandwich shops quite close to your house. And I was just like, fuck, even Subway. I can't, and it's really starting to bother me now. So I'm starting to feel like I want to be back where I was before.
Really?
Where I'm not into Star Wars and I don't like Star. I'm being one of those contrary dickheads who's like, you know, what are you guys going on about Star Trek for? I got it wrong on purpose. But,
so that's good, because like I like to know that we spent all this time. What I've essentially done is helped you. We've set up a podcast, so now that you're rejecting popular opinion, I just think that's very brave and controversial of you.
I've done the research and I still reject it.
Guy, I'm just saying, a little bit outside the box here. Yeah. But God, Star Wars is a big commercial these days. Am I right? That's another one of those ideas that's going to get us that.
But, right, that being said, it doesn't need to be marketed that much, does it?
Well, I think it'll be marketed very little and still be quite a successful film. But I'm pretty sure they're going to hit it with both barrels.
Yeah, I guess they've got a marketing budget anyway, so they're just doing victory laps, just slapping their image on everything they can to go, we're Star Wars, fuck you everyone else.
Who knows, maybe J.J. Abrams really...
Fuck you, the Snoopy movie.
Maybe J.J. Abrams just really loves Subway, and he's got like 9 stamps on his car, and he reckons... this is going to get him sorted out. Time to dip into the galactic mailbag. We got a lot of messages into cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
I must say, I'm very impressed. We're still getting quite a few messages about people with incidents about food and the cinema and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will say, however, okay, that it's not the lack of quality from the messages we've been getting, but the bar has been set very high.
Yes.
Now, and obviously since Smoked Fish Gate, where obviously, you know, I mean, someone, for instance, had one where it's like, oh, I had a lot of Pepsi and then I spilt it. You know,
Cute,
it's cute,
yeah.
but is it a smoked fish?
No.
You know, is it a cold shepherd's pie?
No.
So I still think, I'm not calling you closing the case file
Send
on this
them in.
one. Send them in.
Yeah.
But it still remains to be seen if that can ever be beaten.
But what I don't want to happen is people start making up like
No.
ludicrous stories.
Oh, Sam, we had Christmas dinner in the cinema, you know?
And then my dad stood up and was like, he doesn't normally make Christmas dinner in the cinema, and then it all went
Oh, and then, you
haywire.
know, Auntie Teresa did a wee or something like
Yeah.
that. You know, it's just don't lie.
And
you
Granny
know?
fell in the pool and we got 250 quid from you.
You know, and then Trigger made a face. You know, it's just, it didn't really, not going to work right. So, you know, some back to basics questions here. One from Kim Smith, writing, "Hi lads, I was wondering if you would ever do an episode of Cinema Swirl where both Kevin and Sam haven't seen that film."
We have done.
We have done. Coming soon to
Mysterious question marks.
mysterious question marks.
Yeah.
Provided that Sam manages to edit and release this episode before the other one comes out. Yeah, the kettle's boiling now. The countdown is on. All I will say is that flies in the face of everything that Cinema Swirl stands for. We need to be some sort of crossover episode for that to happen.
Yeah.
Surely that could never happen.
Never. Especially not at Christmas.
Ian Smith writes, and this is a Star Wars themed question.
Okay.
Which Star Wars character would you like to pick in an intergalactic game of Secret Santa, and what would you buy them? Great show. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you for the praise.
And a smiley face as well.
Oh.
So delighted is Ian from Liverpool.
I'd pick Darth Vader.
What, to get gifts to give to you or to get gifts for him?
Oh, just to get...
I mean, we're doing a Secret Santa, so we assume you can pick separate ones, or you can pick the same if you'd like.
I would be curious to see what Darth Vader would get you for Christmas. I think
Yeah.
that would be funny. And also, I'd just get him a sense of humour.
Hey!
Yeah, have
mate,
a laugh, Darth.
Mate, no points doing Secret Santa with Jedi, because they'll just use the Force to feel your presence. Hey!
End the episode there.
That's a real I should have broke your thumbs moment if Cinema Swirl has ever had one. If we could roll credits to the podcast. And thanks for listening to Cinema Swirl. In terms of, I think Boba Fett would be a good one. He seems well travelled. He's got a lot of interesting bits on him. You get your keychain from one of the Outer Rim planets.
I bet he's got a whole sack full of tat somewhere, hasn't he?
Exactly, and as well, to buy someone a gift, I buy R2D2, because I could buy him any old shit, and then he'd be like, bleep, bloop, bloop, and then be like, oh yes, R2, we totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, when really he's having a proper go.
He's just bleeping and blooping. The fuck's going to listen to him? No one. What, C-3PO?
I think Darth Vader, actually, now thinking about it, would be the sort of person to fucking re-gift, wouldn't he?
You would, wouldn't he?
You'd have something, he'd just re-wrap it up and just give it to you.
But Darth, Jedi mind trick. Usual, isn't it?
Link's shower set.
I like the idea of like the Skywalker household being very like shitty at Christmas, and Luke's upset because Darth keeps using the Force memory trick on everyone. It's like, you promised you wouldn't do it this year. You made a right scene at the Christmas party, but I used the memory trick. That's the problem. You always just use the memory trick. So thanks for writing in, Ian. Bert Cocaine writes in saying, "Hello guys, Bert Cocaine with a question for the podcast." Thanks for clearing that up. What is the snack of choice while watching films for the first time? Tacos? Burgers? What goes best with a Pepsi Max at a film you've never seen before?
I love that those are the options.
Burgers? I mean...
Tacos?
I love the idea of actually sitting down and having tacos, but I'll be honest, when we're doing Cinema Swirl, we are oftentimes pushed for time.
Yeah.
So we either avail of the many fine fast fooderies, because Sam has basically managed to be sat in that perfect sphere where he can get fast food from all the big four.
I paid a bit extra for this flat just to be near.
Within smelling distance of Papa John's.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, usually I go for a frozen pizza these days.
Yeah, I think it's fitting, really, given the amount we've talked about frozen pizza and Pepsi Max. So that is mostly what we eat.
We're brand loyal, yes, but also, we're quite practical with our branding.
Yeah.
And we're passionate about the things that we eat.
Yeah.
We eat frozen pizzas, we drink Pepsi Max, and we eat USB sticks and lingerie from Love Honey and Maplin's respectively.
Yeah.
So that's simply it. Thanks very much.
Don't get those mixed up. So, in addition to asking for questions on the email for this episode, I thought I'd put a thing on Facebook, ask people to put a few questions in the comments.
I love the idea that it's taken us 20 episodes to actually
Realise that's a really good idea.
Hey, there's an idea.
Well, let's see whether we want to do this again, because I'm going to go... There's been a lot of questions, a lot of them are related to the film and the plot, so I don't think that's appropriate to talk about now.
Yeah, true that.
But I'm going to go for the ones with the most likes. There's one nice one, which is any chance of a Bono episode reviewing Force Awakens. It's like, well, maybe, because Kevin's seen it. I haven't seen it, so it qualifies for this as well.
It does.
Everyone.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a fucking awesome idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to consider for the new year, maybe.
And just the only other question I think we'll read out here from Chris Pickford. How big is Darth Vader's dick?
Oh, now. I would say it would be around the size of Drax the Destroyer's dick.
Okay.
I mean, just because, if we're going to,
I see what you're doing here.
If we're going to, be going with fictional characters,
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that Darth would have that large member. That being said, I mean, I don't know, you've not seen episode 3, but, when he becomes Darth Vader, he's rather upset. He's a bit of a no, so, I mean, it's conceivable that he lost his willy. Because there's a line where the Emperor goes, where the Emperor tells him he's killed his loved one. He goes, "Oh, Lord Vader, in your haste and anger, you've killed the one you love." He goes, "No!"
Could that be his willy?
He could have said, "Lord Vader, in your haste and anger, you ripped off your willy." No! It would still work. The same read, the same emotion would apply there. So either as big as Drax the Destroyers, or he has no dick at all.
Cool.
But there's no middle ground.
No.
At all.
So big dick, no dick.
Big dick, no dick. No middle ground. And if you disagree, turn off the fucking
Can't cook,
podcast.
won't cook,
Don't exactly.
Yeah, okay.
What would you think?
I don't know. Someone else was questioning whether Darth Vader does have a dick. I didn't know whether that was plot related, so I sort of put it to the back of my mind. I don't know. I've not really thought about it, but I know that that question, how big is X's dick?
Yeah.
Seems random, but it could be explained as it's a wrestling thing. Still doesn't make any sense when you realise what it's in reference to.
When I'm watching that, tonight, that is the question that's going to be in the back of my mind. So when I'm watching through Return of the Jedi, I will kind of, subconsciously be going, what does Sam think about this? But also subconsciously, in equal measure, going, how big is Darth Vader's dick?
Yeah, not any of the other characters.
No. I mean, that's not what the question is, though, is it? You don't walk into Star Wars going, how big is Han Solo's dick or Yoda's dick? What are you, some sort of freak? It's the obvious question that needs to be answered. How big is Darth Vader's dick?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
So by the end of the episode, hopefully we'll have some
sort of indication or idea.
Guesstimate.
But yeah, thanks for those messages on facebook.com/cinemaswirl.
That's facebook.com/cinemaswirl.
And cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
So, the movie du jour, and this is a big one, because obviously this is episode 20, so we're talking about episode 6, which is the third one. I mean, we're way back in episode 1, where we looked at episode 4, which was the first one, which was actually the first one. I didn't think we'd actually get to episode 10, look at the fifth one, which was the third one, and now we're actually in episode 20, looking at the sixth one, which is actually the third one, before you actually get to go and see the seventh one, which is actually the seventh one. I mean, that's quite a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, big deal. Very big deal. But, I mean...
What are we doing?
Return of the Jedi.
Where are we?
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Blue Harvest. It's going to be a big one. Are you excited? I mean, obviously you've got The Force Awakens on the horizon for you. And I must say, we tried to see The Force Awakens together. It didn't work out. No. But I'm quite impressed you've managed to hold off this whole week without seeing it.
I don't care. I'm not that excited to go.
So you're not that fussed for it because of...
I don't know. I think it might just be a reaction to the over promotion that I'm like, I'll wait until it's quiet.
Kind of putting you off a little bit. So if that movie wasn't there at all, then that wasn't on the horizon, how do you think you'd be feeling about Return of the Jedi? Given your...
I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see how the original trilogy caps off.
Yeah.
And no, I will go and see Force Awakens at some point.
Absolutely.
Because just with any film like this where there's like a big release day rush and everyone wants to see it soon, I tend to wait until it's a bit quieter.
Let me get this, because this is just a complete assumption I'm making about you, but
sure, go for it.
The idea of you in a sold out theatre opening night, midnight screening, cup of tea or not, I don't think it would be. I'm not sure. No, you wouldn't be there in the debut of Avengers 3 with your Hulk hands going up and down.
No, exactly. Although I have been there for the last Harry Potter, which I've talked about before.
And do you think that may have impacted on your kind of event cinema?
Perhaps that's what I now think it's all going to be like. There'll be be people dressed as Jedis crying next to me with
Yeah.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Even though it's not even that sad, the big wussies.
Spoilers!
Right, so Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
What do you know about this movie in terms of, obviously it's capping off the original trilogy of Star Wars. Anything else though? What do you reckon is happening in this? Obviously we left off Return of the Jedi. Han Solo had been turned into a Karamak bar and he had been taken away.
We left off Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
So we've seen A New Hope,
Empire Strikes Back.
and now Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the end of Empire, we had Han Solo was a Karamak bar.
Yeah.
Darth Vader had told Luke that he's his pappy.
Yeah.
Luke had his hand chopped off and also had the dog fuck knocked out of him.
Yeah.
And everyone was kind of generally feeling a little bit downtrodden and bleak as they went off to try and find
quite
Han
a sad
Solo.
ending.
It was a very sad ending.
Yeah.
Very sad ending.
So Bob has got Han.
Bob's got Han.
Bob Han.
Bob Han.
And he's taking him to Jab.
Yeah.
To
The Jabster.
The Jab Man.
J.H.
Jab Man cometh.
Jab Man.
Gonna get some money.
I'm a Jab Man. Anyway.
I'm trying to remember what happened. I'm kind of a bit lost plot wise. They blew up.
Scrolly bit at the start, mate. DVD in the box.
Yeah,
I'll
have a look.
It'll be grand.
In terms of what else happens,
Well, you know that Vader's still on the lookout for Luke.
yeah,
You know, there still is an evil galactic empire.
the Jedi's coming back.
Return of the
returning.
Jedi.
Yeah.
A Jedi will be coming back.
Which one?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Time has passed between the two movies. We don't pick up right where we left off. There's
okay.
I think like a year.
It felt like
basically.
we could though.
We could have, but
It felt like it was like diddle diddle diddle. Like we'll see you next time.
yeah, no, like around
His
a
hands in a
year.
fucking block of ice.
Around a year has passed.
Okay.
The bit in between was actually a multimedia project called Shadows of the Empire, which is released as an N64 game, a book, all that jazz, toys, the whole lot, telling you what happens in between the two.
Okay.
Loads of non-canon bullshit,
Well, we'll stop
basically.
this episode now and we'll go and do.
We'll go play that awful
Swirls
video
like that,
game
yeah.
instead. So you're kind of clueless as to what happens.
Yeah, in terms of like big things that have entered my mind in popular culture about Star Wars, I don't think any of them are left now.
Really? So you don't know about, there's a certain thing in this movie which, I mean, people, before Jar Jar, people would have equated this to being the Jar Jar Binks of the original trilogy.
The Wok Woks.
The Wok Woks. That's a fucking, I'm pretty sure that's a racist term from the 1940s. Get those Wok Woks out of here. Ewoks.
Little teddy bears.
Little teddy bears.
They've not turned up yet, have they?
No, they've not.
No.
This what are they?
That was one of the ones I think I wanted at the start, I remember.
Yeah,
I
we
wanted
mentioned Ewoks.
Oh, the little teddy bears. Yeah.
So the little teddy bears, what are they doing? Are they having a picnic? Or
Running around, having a great time.
they're running around, having a great time and going...
Yeah.
Sam's doing little jazz hands, by the way.
I don't know who they are or what they do, but they
Goodies,
look sweet.
baddies?
Yeah.
What, both?
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe baddies, but good in the end.
Oh, some misunderstood teddy bears.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you know anything about the Emperor? Because you got to see him in a little hologram, but he's in this movie properly.
Oh.
So, I mean...
No.
Just so you know, alright, the Emperor Palpatine, who's been oft referred to in the movies up until this point, but you actually get to see properly.
The Emperor Strikes Back.
The Emperor of aforementioned Empire.
Yeah.
The umpire of the... He is
Managing editor of
the
Empire.
managing editor, the chief operating officer of the Galactic Empire, who is Emperor Palpatine.
in.
Me and Adam from Attitude Podcast, massively obsessed with the man.
Okay.
Deeply obsessed.
Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah. So we're watching this one. I think ones to watch out for. Number one, this was probably the most successful Star Wars movie of the time.
Oh, okay.
Because it made so much fucking money.
Yeah.
They did huge business on this.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was the last Star Wars movie for 20 years or thereabouts. So it was a long time before we had the next one. And also, keep in mind, this is meant to be setting you up for both the prequels, in a sense, to get you excited for more Star Wars, and also Episode 7. So, bear in mind, are you excited for any of those? Because I'm wondering, should we do the prequel trilogy for, for future episodes? Seriously.
Right. So who directed this?
This one was directed by a number of people.
Right.
So there's more than one director. George Lucas directed a bit of this.
He directed A New Hope, and then...
Yeah, someone else did Empire.
But he's done story for all of them?
He has done story for it. He didn't write this one fully. He wrote
so it's like
parts of
story,
it.
George Lucas,
Yeah.
screenplay, other...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So he had his finger in this, but only in parts of this. So once again, unlike the prequel trilogy, you've not got this guy being the only man at the ship. There was a lot of different scenes in this that were directed by a multitude of people.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering how, like, what he planned for this series when he was starting out.
I think he had the trilogy. I mean,
did he have a trilogy in mind, or did he have the? When did they start being numbered episodes?
Oh, they only started getting numbered episodes when they did the re-release of them, because these were re-released in 1999, which was for the 20th anniversary, which is when I would have originally seen that when they did the first remaster, they brought them back out in the cinema.
Before the prequels came out.
Before the prequels came out, exactly. Right. So it was like 2 years before you had prequels.
So it's retroactively they've been labelled as episodes.
Yeah, because when episode 4 came out originally, it was just called Star Wars. And then that became Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, when the other ones came out. So yeah. So it was a later edition, the numbering system.
Because the way you said it was like, oh, it's setting you up for the new one and the old one. Like George Lucas had this big grand.
Well, Lucas never wanted to do episode 7, 8, 9. That's
all never intended.
Yeah.
Like he wanted this to be the end of the chronological plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
this will feel like an ending.
This is meant to be an ending,
right? Okay.
In many, many senses of the word. And absolutely, I mean, when they said episode 7 was coming out, obviously I was excited, but I wasn't kind of like, well, fucking finally they're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
Because you had all this extended universe. I mean,
I'm guessing you don't have Han still in that frozen block at the end of this one. There's not any loose threads.
Mate, only one way to find out, yeah? Let's go do a cinema swirl. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. We're back. What do you think of that gut reaction?
I'm no longer the guy who hasn't seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's how I feel now.
What basically the whole premise of this podcast was to take you and slowly make you less unique. And when you're done, you'll just be a grey slab of sludge that'll be exactly the same as everyone else.
I don't feel like that. I feel quite good. but
other than that, though, positive feelings.
Yeah.
There were whoops and hollers.
Yeah.
I gonna say off the bat, I think your general gut reaction seemed to be a bit better than it was for Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. I had a good time.
I will say, we did watch and record this on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And Return of the Jedi does occupy that very special space of Sunday afternoon movies. Of kind of like, it's a nice kind of romp.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine that we had tea in a fireplace. We didn't have those things, but I mean, you know, those would have been appropriate. Future reference, if you are going to screen Return of the Jedi, just have your bourbon creams out, have them ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, Return of the Jedi, episode 6.
Yes.
A lot of scrolling text at the start there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, recapping the events of the previous movies in case you had forgotten.
Which I think I needed.
Yeah, you did. I think you did need that a little bit. I did like the phrasing of this one, particularly them referring to Jabba the Hutt as being a vile gangster.
Pretty accurate.
He is. He's quite vile.
He's vile.
I thought gangster, though.
Yeah.
He's not got a Tommy gun. I mean, once we're in sci-fi, can he be a gangster?
I guess so.
Get him, boys.
He's the leader of the gang.
Leader of the gang. He helped run liquor out of Tatooine during Prohibition. Also, as well, shocking bit of news, they're building a second Death Star.
Yeah, little does Luke know.
Little does he know.
They're making another one.
It's
making a sequel.
It's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the second one they went, you can't just have another Death Star. But the third one, you've got that one movie buffer in which you're allowed to have another Death Star.
No, fuck it, make another Death Star. Yeah.
What did you think of the second Death Star?
Same as first, isn't it?
It's bigger but incomplete.
Yeah.
It basically made
So they're still building it as this film is happening.
Yeah, it was very unclear for me as a kid, because as a kid I thought, is they got a problem with a sphere? Because the sphere seems like, stylistically speaking, that's kind of like almost like a peak, a perfect sphere of a battle station, and then this one's got bits taken out of it, like it's eroded.
It's maybe just so that we can tell the difference between the two when we're comparing them.
It is meant to be way bigger as well.
I think I knew that at the start, but you just forget it.
They're not exactly holding up another one for reference. It's not a scale on the side of the screen saying,
There should be at all times.
Definitely.
A little picture-in-picture with the old Death Star, so you can just see the difference.
Just for yourself, so you know. We start off with a shuttle heading towards the aforementioned incomplete second Death Star. Yeah. As it's coming in, it goes, "Roar, roar, roar," and then when it goes inside to the little hangar, it goes,
it makes little kids. It makes little cute kitten noises. It goes from big elephant noises to little kitty noises.
It just kind of goes down the scale of animals in size. There were a lot of, I'm going to say right now, there were a lot of funny noises, sound effects, particular sayings of certain lines that I've viewed as being interesting since I was a child.
You were pointing them out to me throughout the thing. Like, oh, we've got a funny noise coming up. Yeah.
I hope I wasn't just because I'm worried that I was being this weirdo. That was a funny noise.
But I think this is the most I've had you sort of saying, oh, watch out for this bit. This bit's coming up. Hey, funny noise. Like
it was just funny
maybe
noises.
Happens once every movie, but with this one, there were about 4 or 5 occasions of you going, oh, wait, listen out for this.
Hey! I mean, I guess that's the true sign of pure nostalgia, and it's just remembering funny noises.
It's also showing that you
kid.
really know these films because you knew exactly where the little noises that like Lando makes are. Is it Lando?
Lando.
Yeah.
Well, I make that noise all the time, so that's kind of, why I remember it, I guess. I've not seen this movie I remember I didn't watch it when I got that that Blu-ray box set, which, by the way, has seen its fourth bout of action. Finally, after getting that for Christmas many years ago, we finally have watched
used it.
We've used it now, again, because we've watched the 3 Star Warses on the Blu-ray with Sam for Cinema Swirl.
Yeah.
And me and Adam watched episode 3 one night when we were drunk, so it's not really gotten a lot of action.
I mean, that's stayed at my flat for a long time now. Do I have to hand it back to you as like a big moment?
In a sense, it's been like a housewarming gift.
Yeah.
Because I just left it here. It does work though for anyone who is keeps track of our notes or anything like that. Maybe if you're someone who's purchased our new T-shirt over on Etsy, for instance, you get yourself a nice little bit of notes with that for every purchased T-shirt. I write on a certain size of paper that Sam gives me, and that size of paper perfectly fits the Star Wars Blu-ray box set.
Yes, your little table.
And that has got more use out of it
than actually watching it.
Because if I said to Mum and Dad, I go, Mum, Dad, I need like a thing for like small note paper just so I can write it on the fly on the couch and not have to lean over, give me a bad back. They wouldn't have thought to get me that Star Wars thing.
No,
but I told them it is it's much more useful as that. So,
so maybe I should keep it.
I think so. And there's people as well who are ragging on physical media and DVDs and Blu-rays.
Yeah, they double up as tables.
They do, particularly the thick box sets there. Oz is another good one on DVD. It's a real great box set there for using as a little table.
So for an A5 notepad paper leaning on a thing, it's perfect.
I mean, if you want to use A4 note paper,
fold it over.
Fold it over,
Fold it over.
Fold it over. No, I won't tell if you don't. So we get a little bit of a chat between Darth Vader, middle management, and the team leader, he's behind on the task of building the second Death Star.
This is the first time I've seen Darth Vader just being like just a normal boss. He seems like a bit of a strict boss, being like, oh, if you don't get this done on time, I'm going to get the big boss to come and tell you off.
And mate, all I'm going to say is, the Emperor, he's not as forgiving as me. So you better redouble your efforts. Yes, you better. The Emperor is coming and he is most displeased.
Yes, he's upset.
How can you go on a fucking battle station that size, bigger than the one which you had blown up before, which in a great bit of turnaround, in 3 or 4 years you've made another one, and you're still displeased? Lad who asked at the start, who would you like to have for fucking Secret Santa?
Emperor?
Not him!
Not him.
No, because he'd be displeased no matter what.
Else, yeah.
Oh, my battle station that has been made in record time, I'm displeased. Fucking prick this.
He'd open his presents early, wouldn't he? He'd want it straight away.
It is exactly as I foreseen that you would get me these vouchers for HMV. So C-3PO and R2-D2, the old band's back together.
Yeah, I fucking missed C-3PO.
You love him
when
too
we were
much.
talking about before we watched this, I'd kind of I don't know why he was out of my mind. I didn't think about him, but now I've watched this, I've been like, oh yeah, I miss C-3PO.
Because
he's great.
In Empire, 3PO and R2 are separate for nearly the entire thing, and you only get to see him at the end, and 3PO has a fucking shite all go of it, because he's with people who hates him, like Han and Lando and whatnot. So it's nice to see the two of them back together.
Lovely, yeah.
Bantering back and forth.
Yeah, which I came back to my little theory that I had for the first film, that C-3PO doesn't understand what R2-D2 is saying. He's just going along with it, like when a cat meows at you and you just agree with it.
To quote Sam, it's him that's doing the knowing.
Yeah, I still think that kind of
still worked in this movie.
Checks out for everything. There's no thing that C-3PO wouldn't have been able to know anyway.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Still, I think that's
I'm sure someone understands R2-D2, but I don't think it's C-3PO. Even though he speaks all these languages.
I'm surprised no one's come up with this theory before.
It's because it's bollocks, but it's still fun to pretend.
Man, but bollocks theories are what Star Wars universe is based off of, you know? So C-3PO and R2-D2 are, they're pounding the pavement and they go into Jabba the Hutt's palace. Yeah. We're back on the desert planet of Tatooine.
The thing that made me realise I still love C-3PO was when he was like, oh, I guess we should knock at the door, and does the
he can't make a fist.
Little...
He can only rattle it with his fingers.
The tips of his fingers.
On this massive palace door. And I love that he knocks on it and then this little sphere comes out and goes,
this horrible Dalek hand thing comes out and lets him. Yeah.
And
he has a chat with it.
He has a bit of a chat. Lets him in.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. Yes, it was at the start he went, I don't believe it. He sees Victor Meldrew, C-3PO. You know, at the end of the new trilogy, he's going to get run over with a car and loads of people are going to leave loads of bouquets of flowers because they don't realise he's a fictional character. But anyway, they go inside Jabba's palace, and I do realise this was probably me at my nerdiest in the sense that Return of the Jedi has so many background characters. So many, particularly in Jabba's palace, and I knew the names of all of them because I had toys of all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Gamorrean Guard, Bomar Monk, Reese.
Yeah.
It's my boy Tesk. It's Tesk. This is a Tesk. You know, they were all there. Bib Fortuna, you know, a Man. All the guys were there.
Bib Fortuna. No one ever says Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, when I said it, you wouldn't believe me. Yeah. You wouldn't believe me.
It sounds like, you know, like Bib Fortuna sounds like so-and-so for president. It's like 4 more years. Bib Fortuna. Give him some tuna.
Give him some tuna, yeah.
I just called him Worm Boy.
The Gamorrean Guards got a big laugh from you.
Are they the weird...
green pigs.
Ugly pig hippo people?
There's green pig,
the rhino pigs.
Yeah.
They look funny.
I love those. I had a fucking toy of those guys and it was fucking huge. Loved it. Jim Henson did a lot of the work with some of the
well, that's
puppets
why
and stuff here.
The little shitty jester thing looks like a proper Muppet.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah. Salacious Crumb.
I used to call him Salicus as a child, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those ones you only see it written down in, like, you know, character guides and on boxes for figures. So I always called him Salicus Crumb as a kid.
Right. It's Salacious
Completely wrong. Like, you know. I'm sure that happened as well with, you know, Harry Potter where people had names.
Oh, Hermione.
Yeah. Hermione. What the fuck with your Hermione? Salicus Crumb over here. You know, but apparently I heard some call them Salacious, but they were in some sort of semi-official form environment. So I'm like, Salacious.
Salacious Crumb.
Salacious Crumb.
I fucking don't like him. He was the worst one.
Why didn't you like him?
Cast of weirdos.
Why didn't you like him?
It just cut to him just going... just having a laugh.
You thought he was attached to Jabba.
I thought he might be part of Jabba.
He's Jabba's court jester.
But he sits in Jabba.
He sits in his little tail, in the crevice.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So, as far as I know, his deal was, having read extended stuff, is that he was some little imp who, like, fucked up Jabba's dinner once when he was somewhere. But he made him laugh, so he let him live, but he has to make Jabba laugh at least once a day, otherwise he'll kill him. So that's, like, his lot in life. He's
that could have been what happened with Jeremy Clarkson if that producer hadn't, like, just done a joke afterwards. Jeremy wouldn't have lamped him one.
Exactly, it would have been fine. Like, and then like Jeremy would be like, "If you don't make me laugh today, I'm going to kill you." So all the boys are here.
All these shit Doctor Who villains.
Yeah, Bib Fortuna, who has my favourite line of the movie, which is "Uwanawanga." When he says "Uwanawanga," it's like him. If you ring up Wonga and you know it's dodgy because it's saying "Uwanawanga," you know you're going to get a bad APR, mate.
I know it's a different language, but I'm sure I heard him say, "Nay Jabba, no bother."
Yeah. So Luke appears through a Skype and basically explains to them that, I'm giving you R2-D2 and C-3PO. And C-3PO's like, you're playing the wrong message. I am the one where I'm not given away. It really goes again that, because later on they kind of, they have like all the kind of, explanation of, this was a big plan. But it does kind of live up to the whole thing which we said back in their first episode, which was they just treat the droids like they're, iPods or whatever.
Things.
It's like if they're objects or things, they're not people. Like if you got captured by some gangster, I'd give him an iPod and an Android tablet. And Jess can say, it's a gift, but then actually I use those to free you. But it's not a big deal because it's just my iPod and my tablet.
You don't feel like an emotional attachment to your iPhone, even if it's got Siri on it, though, do you?
Because there'll be a new one out soon.
Exactly. It'll just be the same personality.
That being said, they've held on to these same models for quite some time, so the Rebel Alliance are nothing if not a bunch of tight fuckers.
They're lucky not to get upgraded, those two.
Han is not going to be released, as Luke is requesting.
That's the trade. It's like you get these two droids, and then you give us our friend back, and everything's alright.
And Jabba is like, no, because he really ties the room together.
It looks fucking awesome
over there, So obviously, Luke's going to come in and pee on his carbonite statue to really get back at him. But Han is just there in the corner, and he's all cold, and he's still in carbonite, looking as he does. And the droids are sent off to work, where they are sent down to the sinister slave master droid, EV-99.
See, you know all the names of them.
Christmas 1999, yeah. I have work for you and the master's sail barge.
Doesn't need a mouth. These robots.
I think it's just to make humans feel at ease. Going, where's that noise coming from? And
see the little flapping weird, horrible flap.
I'm all right. That's fine. Yeah. He's a bit of a prick because he's torturing all these robots who all seem to be programmed to feel pain.
Yeah, one got ripped apart.
See the little one who's having like hot pokers put on, going,
horrible.
Who is the fucking genius who thought it was a good idea?
Put the pain chip in there.
To put that and turn that shit on, let's put the robot. Let's make the robot who's got a central processor that's going to be running hot, sensitive to heat.
Put pain on it.
It's horrible.
Horrible. Mean.
So, there's a big song and dance scene next, which I bet you didn't think you were going to get in Star Wars.
No, there's more songs than I thought there would be in this film. More dancing.
This is very much a George Lucas remastered, retouched. Let's put in Ting Tang If you just listen, I'm not being racist.
It's just Ting Tang.
That is literally what they do. Okay. What did you think of the band?
I liked some members of the band. You probably know all the fucking names.
Yeah.
My favourite was Keyboard Elephant.
Oh God, Max Rebo.
Max Rebo.
It's actually his band, would you believe? So he's kind of like he's the main
like
guy.
The Jimmy Vivino and the Basic Cable
Band. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just there. He writes the music. He doesn't want any of the attention.
He's the band leader.
He's the band leader. He's Blue Elephant.
I guess the band leader's usually on like keyboards or organ or something. Yeah.
But they have a big song and dance. Yeah. We get a bit of a tease of what's to come as a green lady who is dancing for Jabba pisses her off somehow and falls in a big old hole.
Does she even piss him off?
She starts dancing and then I think she tries to get away. Like she starts pulling on the chain.
And he's just like, right.
And he's like, right.
Down you go into the death pit.
Down you go. We then get a mysterious character appear. The mysterious...
grotty prick, isn't he, Jabba?
He is. He doesn't wipe his mouth the whole movie.
Horrible.
It gets worse, if anything. I mean, if my mother was there, she'd be licking a tissue and going, "You've got fucking slobber all," and you'd be wiping that up.
Why is he in charge of this gang?
Well, he's the Hutts, that race of disgusting slug people. They basically are the mafia in Star Wars. So, like, in all the different... they all, like, control different parts of the galaxy. But Jabba the Hutt is like the main crime lord on Tatooine.
They can't fucking move.
I know, but he's rich and powerful and has connections. He's like Tony Soprano in like the last season. My fucking daughter, he can do that, but he can't do much else.
No, but he can get other people to do
like
stuff.
Like Jabba will do the thing where he beats up your man in front of everyone, but then he goes into the bathroom and has a big sick. I'm sure he can manage that just about. But enough. So if a mysterious bounty hunter figure appears with Chewbacca, who's called Bausch. And they've got, again, another amazing voice. Yate, you do. I want that as a ringtone.
Yeah.
Basically. So they basically say that they want to sell them Chewbacca for a certain price. Otherwise, they'll blow him up. And Jabba is kind of like Donald Trump in this situation.
Pokeball grenade thing.
Poke grenade, like. Yeah. And Jabba is Donald Trump in the sense that he is the master of the deal. Yep. So he gives them less money and no one blows up. Yeah. Just like Donald Trump will do if he becomes president. No. Less money, no one blows up.
Yeah.
Or
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Let us know how that goes, America, yeah?
I think Lando's hiding out there somewhere.
Yeah, Lando's hiding out. Just so you know he's hiding out. He walks up to the camera and goes,
It's me, Lando.
Then he turns back around. The Cloud City guy. I had a cape. I betrayed... Never mind, it's fine, So yeah, Lando's there. They're all there, basically. You're starting to sense that there's a bigger plan at play.
Yeah.
Late at night, Han Solo is freed by the mysterious bounty hunter, who reveals themselves to be Leia, which blew you right off your socks.
Didn't see that coming. No, didn't get it.
It's great.
The bounty hunter voice, is that like a
Voice
box
synthesizer thing, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I love that Leia in this movie has so much more to do, than the other movies. Because the other movies, she does fuck up. But here, she's got disguises and bombs and rides around speeder bikes and shoots shit and gets shot. It's like, she's a lot more active.
Here's the thing I've been thinking while watching this film. Throughout the whole film, Leia has 3 or 4, maybe more, different outfits or costumes or looks.
Yes, true.
And the one that I know Princess Leia as is the slave one.
Yeah.
And that's like the image of Princess Leia that I know.
Yeah. That's kind of shit, isn't it?
But there's way cooler
for me, when I think of Leia, I think of Bounty Hunter Leia without the helmet. Because I had 2 Leia toys. I had the regular one from New Hope, where she's in her, fucking white wedding dress or whatever. Yeah. And then there's the one where she's got, a grenade and a mask. And obviously I was going to use that toy.
But that looks really cool. But I get it in a way, because it's a nice lady in a...
It's just the really hardcore Star Wars fans that had the fetish for her in the Bounty Hunter gear with the voice modulator. It's the laissez-faire guys who had the slave girl. And anyone can like a slave girl outfit, I guess, was what the point was there.
So.
But she does have a lot more to do in this movie, though. And I think that's pretty cool. If anything...
good at it.
She has a lot of cool stuff in this one.
At some point, there's a little scene that's just a nice little cut to this sort of sunset.
Yeah.
The dusk or whatever.
Over the palace, yeah. And
then there's a little ugly Budweiser frog that ruins it.
Budweiser frog?
It's horrible. I was like, that looks really nice. Oh, no.
He did a trumpet out of his mouth. Yeah. That's disgusting.
No. Oh. It's nice of them to put that scene in there for no reason other than...
Just in case you thought it was nice.
A bit of flatulence for fun. Right.
So, Chewie meets up with Han, who's been released and then captured once again.
Yeah, they have a nice hug.
They have a lovely little hug.
Yeah. We're friends again.
And he's going, I'm okay, pal. Oh, that's really sweet.
Han's blind for a bit.
He's blind because he's been in hibernation. He has hibernation sickness. Right. Your eyesight will return in time. He will see eventually, but he's blind for now. Leia's been captured as well.
Yeah.
And has been given Jabba's fantasy wear for the duration.
Yep.
To each his own. Yeah. Luke shows up and he's all fucking OP. His stats are all over the place. He's got all black. He's got shiny boots. He's a total badass, and he's doing Jedi mind tricks left, right, and center.
The thing I liked was that in Jabba's language, which is completely different, Jedi mind trick is exactly the same.
But you wanna Jedi mind trick. But Chaluna, the Atlanta Falcons, are Churanana President Clinton. He's very well spoken when he wants to be.
Yeah.
What I like as well is that Luke he's kind of like a shitty hypnotist in that tries to reassure him. It's like, you'll take me to your master. Take you to my master. You do a good job. Good job. And you will be well rewarded.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from?
He's Darren Browning it.
He's really...
sneaking those words in so that later you think them on your own and you don't realise that Darren's done it.
And of course, Jabba gets the treat card from Darren Skywalker here, which means that, he's not going to have anything bad to him. Luke is like, look, you get the droids. I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to kill you. Everything's going to be fine. I'm a great, powerful Jedi Knight.
Film ends.
Bashudawuna your thumbs. But Luke runs afoul of the vile gangster and falls into the pit.
Yeah, C-3PO tries to warn him. He's like, oh, you're standing on the... Oh, never mind, sorry, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you listen to him...
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say anything.
Imagine if Siri always was doing that, jumping in, kind of going, look, actually, you're going to fall in a puddle.
Yeah. No.
You'd listen then.
But then, stop talking because everyone else was talking and Siri felt a bit embarrassed. And just like, no, I'll talk about it later, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Master Luke, you're standing on the... Oh, I just realised everyone's looking at me now. This has been much.
Yeah.
It's amazing that a robot can have social anxiety.
Yeah.
Why would they program that into him?
Put that in him, put pain in him.
Some fucking sadist designing robots here, like. So Luke Skywalker comes face to face with the face of fear itself.
The horrible anus-faced monster.
The Rancor. Ugh. You properly went with this.
It sure is rank, yeah. It's horrible.
How did you think it held up in terms... Because, this was all stop motion and shit back in the day and puppets.
For some of the things, it looked a bit weird, but for the Rancor, I think the stop-motion-y, horrible puppetiness actually helped it.
Because he had big, bony, jarry kind of limbs.
Gross and weird.
Yeah.
If it was CGI, I wouldn't be as creeped out by this horrible, actual physical thing moving around.
The most satisfying noise in this movie is when he picks up the pig Gamorrean guard who falls down with him, and he picks him up and he bites into him like an apple. It's like, you know,
the poor little pig. Well, I say poor, but he's probably a bad
he's probably
man,
a rotter.
He just Jabba doesn't care about him. He's fallen in as well.
And he does the high pitched pig squeal that he's scared, and the other pigs are having a proper laugh. Go, way!
Your shit.
That's not
horrible.
Those aren't real mates.
Got bit by a Rancor. If I fell in a pit and got bit, you'd be sad, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be like the fucking heavyset lads over here when Luke manages to kill the Rancor by throwing the door on him, essentially.
He does some good stuff. He puts a bone in his mouth, he hides under a thing, and then runs through the door, puts the door down on him. I think it's all quite clever.
It's quite smart.
Yeah.
And then the Rancor keeper comes out, who is really upset, and he just starts crying.
Big lad, no shirt on. You see a lot of him. He walks over, he starts crying, he's having a big cry, and I thought, well, that's going to be significant later. No.
I think it was just to show that the Rancor...
And it is sad that the Rancor has died.
Yeah, the Rancor is a wild animal who's been captured by Jabba to be used in this regard. And the guy who looked after him... I mean, I could tell you I've read a chapter, Tales from Jabba's Palace, in the extended universe, where it's explained how he looked after him and was very emotional.
Boo! Get off!
I will say, though...
Nerd!
If you are one of the hundreds of thousands of people that have a toy of that Rancor Keeper because they made more of those and seemingly... Like, there was a period of time where every Poundland in England and Ireland was just filled, as far as the eye could see, with Rancor Keepers. Everyone's got one. You go through anyone's box of toys back in the day, you'd see a fucking Rancor Keeper in there.
They made toys of every character.
Yeah.
I suppose because they sell. They ultimately ended up selling.
Fucking stupid kids like me would
You know
buy
all the names
shit
of the little elephant ones and all the... Yeah.
The little elephant ones, mate.
Blue elephant
would you
boy.
give Max Rebo some fucking credit here, for once?
And the Max Rebo band.
Thank you. So they're all very sad, they're crying, and as punishment for killing Jabba's pet, they're all to go to the pit of Carcoon, which contains the almighty Sarlacc.
Yeah.
In the Dune Sea.
That would digest you for 1,000 years or something.
Yes. It's a horrible existence. You fall into the Sarlacc, you don't get killed straight away. What it does is it hooks you up to it, like it basically hooks you up to it, and it keeps you alive and slowly over the course of 1,000 years digests you.
Oh, that is horrible.
It is. It's rubbish.
Yeah, that is gross.
It's proper rubbish.
Fuck.
I mean, I'd just as soon have me head chopped off.
Yeah.
Or, lethal injection. Shot. Not over 1,000 years.
No.
I don't want to die for longer than I've been alive by a factor of 10.
Yeah.
That's just too long.
That's horrible.
It's taking the mick,
Who'd want to live forever if you're being digested? Am I right?
Hey, am I right? Yeah. Exactly. So, we all arrive at the Sarlacc pit, and the big plan is coming, because it's a big plan, because there's very dramatic trumpets going, bum, 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 bum. So, it is a big plan, and C-3PO is all worried, but R2-D2, who is now a drinks tray, fires out Luke's lightsaber and he kills everyone. It's great. He just fucking goes apeshit. His lightsaber is now green as well. The look of the Irish with Luke McSkywalker.
Which is another thing that you pointed out to me before I noticed it. It's fun watching you be an actual nerd. I don't get too much of that from you often, but this was like a film where all the little bits of trivia.
I think because it's like Jedi has so many little bits as opposed to Empire, which is more of a straightforward fucking movie where stuff is happening. For me, the joy in this is like, oh look there, that
little details.
It's filled with fucking details.
I'm not having a go.
I mean, I'm sure you've noticed lots of things about Lost.
Loads. Yeah, absolutely loads. If you want to sit down with me and watch Lost, I'll be like that with that.
If you don't want me to sit down and watch Lost with Sam, tweet in. So, the green saber is the demise of many of Jabba's goons.
Yeah, he does a good job, Luke, doesn't he?
He fucking kills the fuck out of everyone.
Right, okay. So this is the bit where everyone dies.
Yeah, lots of people are being killed.
Boba Fett,
who flies over. In fairness, Boba Fett, he's off the clock. He's only there for a party. You know, he flies over straight away. He does some. He's like, you know what? No, I'll muck in with the rest of them.
Yeah.
He's a private contractor. He's not registered for this, but he comes over anyway. Straight away, as soon as shit kicks off, he's right in front of Luke, ready to kill him.
Yeah.
And then, it doesn't go so well.
Bit of tension, and then Boba Fett gets put in the digesty beast. I thought Boba Fett was a massive deal.
He is. He's
a huge deal.
He's a badass, is Boba Fett. But
he's dead.
He dies pretty unspectacularly.
Yeah.
He does get bopped by Han Solo, and his jetpack just sends him into the bit where he dies.
Yeah. That's it from Boba Fett. In terms of the actual main films, there's not a whole lot of Boba Fett.
No, and again, Boba Fett is... I was quite interesting because in The Force Awakens, there's a character that's quite like that, I think, which is like, they look like a total badass. People will be obsessed with them. But they have maybe 4 lines... Spoiler alert! Couple of lines of dialogue, and at the end of the day, they're not... I mean, I love Boba Fett.
They'll become a cool character because they're just mysterious and badass.
That's it. I mean, it's because Boba had so few lines, and he dies in such an unspectacular way. Extended universe stuff, there's a whole fucking story where he actually survives that and then like comes out and he's all like injured and has to, work his way back up like it's Rocky or something. But, he, in the terms of the movies, he gets bopped, he falls over, he dies.
He's dead, yeah.
The end. And he goes, when he dies as well. So not really that badass.
We had a Wilhelm scream at some point.
Oh, there was a couple here. Yeah, Wilhelm screams out the wazoo. Jabba then dies.
Yeah.
Leia kills Jabba.
I thought Jabba was going to be a bigger deal. He's dead now.
He's quite a big deal for the first...
I mean, I suppose he is. The first half an hour of the film. Maybe?
Yeah, and he's a constant presence in the first 2 movies. He's always looming, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
It's cool that Leia gets to kill him.
Yeah, it's a good death.
And then the highlight of this entire scene, which is when Lando falls over and is being helped up by Han, who is assuring him that his eyesight is okay. And as he's trying to get him up, a tentacle goes on Lando's leg and he goes, bleh!
Yeah,
Love it.
It's pretty much exactly like that.
Bleh!
That sounds like an exaggeration, but he does a very funny noise.
I mean, I'm just saying, if I was sitting here right now and all of a sudden the tentacle grabbed my leg...
You'd make the same noise.
Bleh! It's amazing.
It's like a catchphrase when they buzz in.
So they blow up the giant sail barge, massive fit of fire. R2 and C-3PO just like fall off, going useless, and then they all leave.
They fly away on something. They get in a thing.
It kind of almost feels like a 30-minute like mini movie before the actual movie.
Yeah,
I love it because you get to see like Luke's a badass. Leia's a badass.
I think it's kind of like here are all the characters that you know and love. They're still okay. They defeated someone. You get a bit of satisfaction from that, and then you go on to the main movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a starter.
The main body of it is. It's exactly like a starter. Whets your appetite, not too full. It was nice. Ooh.
And you're ready for the big battle.
And then here comes your fucking meat and 2 veg now. Yeah. The Emperor arrives on the spaceship. Emperor Palpatine.
Duncan Bannatyne.
Emperor Bannatyne. Do you like his evil music that he has?
Yeah.
I don't know, they have probably a choir of old men going to do that for him. He's unhappy that the Death Star has taken its time. Mm-hmm. Also, as well, he's aware of Luke being around now, and he's pretty much gung-ho on Darth finding Luke, taking him around here, seeing if he wants to join the team.
Making him a baddie.
Making him an offer for a percentage of the Empire, you know? And that's all he's about. He's about businesses and making money, you know? After Emperor Palpatine had his run of extremely successful leisure centers and retirement homes, now Emperor Bannatyne wants to rule the galaxy with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. It is nice throughout these films that the main thing is not that they want to kill Luke.
No.
It's that they know he's powerful and useful and they want him on their side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird dynamic, isn't it?
It's a join or die. It's very much an American revolutionary thing.
I guess so.
I mean, I don't want to draw too many parallels between the Founding Fathers and the Sith. But, I mean, there are some there in that sense, yes. Oh, yeah, Yoda dies as well.
Oh, yeah, he's tired and he's...
Sick I am.
I am going to sleep.
Dead I am.
Going to sleep I am.
Are you dead? No, not yet. Wait. Dead I am.
Wait, you will.
And the best thing as well is that he gives massive spoilers, but you can't really hear them.
Yeah.
George Lucas will make a prequel trilogy. Don't get too excited about it.
What did you say? Yeah. I didn't hear that, Yoda. Oh, he's gone.
My favourite Yoda line in this that was said in the Yoda way, where you put it backwards, but it still sounds like a thing that like a sort of northern dad would say. So he's trying to say like, did he tell you? But is it, told you, did he? Oh, bloody Darth.
Oh, God. Told you then, did he? Oh, secret's out now, is it? Oh, come on. So Yoda's dead. Yeah. Luke has a bit of a chat with Obi-Wan Ghost Kenobi, which is a bit fucking awkward at this stage. Number one, because Alec Guinness, the actor, for reals, he's clearly doesn't want to be there. Yeah. And number two, there's some serious retconning that has to go on here.
So what was that about with Alec Guinness?
In the first movie, he told Luke that Anakin Skywalker, his father, was betrayed and murdered by Darth Vader. There was some serious arm twisting needed to be done to get Alec Guinness to come back for this one, because he hated Star Wars. He didn't like it. He was completely typecast by it afterwards. He thought his career was marred by it. He thought it was stupid. He didn't like Star Wars at all.
So he probably got a lot of money for...
Yeah, I hate all this money. Fuck off.
No, I mean, to come back.
Come on. You're going to get a big stack of cash for what is honestly an afternoon's work here.
Yeah.
Where he really passive-aggressively wants Luke to kill his father.
He's sort of phoning it in at this point, isn't he, I think?
Well, there's a reading of the line where he goes, you know what you have to do with Darth Vader? And Luke goes, I'll never kill my father. Well, the Emperor's already run, I guess.
Don't kill your dad, then. See if I can.
And what he says as well, he goes, well, what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's seriously not.
You can't twist those words to be vague.
There is no point of view.
Your father was betrayed
and killed. And then he says, well, our point of view is really what kind of, defines us. So, and Luke is cool with that, essentially.
You'd be calling him out on his bullshit. But no, you said.
Hang on a minute. This man... No, I'm not. I didn't lie to you. Now, go kill your father.
Yeah.
Go kill your father.
No, the dark side?
Yeah.
The Emperor. The Empire. No.
The Emperor of the Empire.
He's the Emperor of the Empire.
Yeah.
That he refers to as the dark side himself. When I think of, baddies, I always think that they think they're doing the right thing.
Oh, well, that's the classic, to use a wrestling analogy.
Yeah.
The classic wrestling analogy, which is the bad guy, i.e. the heel, has to view themselves as being justified, as in, I'm doing the right thing. And the most compelling stories always come in media and fiction or whatever, when you've got a bad guy who thinks that they're doing what is right. But they're saying they're evil.
Really kind of labels themselves as they're calling themselves the dark side.
They never say that they're evil.
No, but it's
hate,
heavily implied.
Anger, that's the stuff they say.
Yeah.
They view light and dark as not necessarily mean good and evil. They would view light and dark as being different sides of the same coin or whatever.
I guess.
And that they just view it's not good
but
and
it
evil.
seems a bit more like they're literally just being like, we're the bad guys. Come be a bad guy with us.
They view themselves as being like the most powerful, and theirs is the true use of the Force or whatever. But again, they are a bit mustached.
Didn't get any kind of good character traits from the Emperor at all.
He's very manipulative, and
I had no sense that there was a time when he was cool.
Oh he was always evil.
Always been
that's his thing.
Okay.
Well, I think in his own sense, it's kind of like the devil in that sense. He's like just ultimate. He is evil. I guess
trying to bring everyone else.
He doesn't view himself as being evil because he just views himself as being all powerful or correct in that sense. Yeah. So Leia is revealed then to be his sister.
Yeah, because Yoda has
a sister. So you have a twin sister.
Who keeps saying that?
It's later on Vader. His voice essentially makes so you have a sister.
Yoda has this. His big reveal is there is another Skywalker.
Yeah, which he fucking hacks out with a load of phlegm.
Yeah, but he delivers it, and then seconds later. Obi-Wan just explains what that means. Yeah,
just by BTW, in case you didn't understand fucking emphysema lad in there.
Who might that be? He just comes to, it's Leia, she's his sister, mate. Okay.
Doesn't mention that he feels weird about having kissed her.
No one does.
Twice.
Leia doesn't, he doesn't. I think they're all just pretending that
I'll be honest,
happen.
It's kind of the case that if I was to find out at some point that I had kissed someone who was my sister, I imagine a lot of people would just kind of blanket and try to move on.
You wouldn't fucking talk about it, would you?
You wouldn't fucking start talking about it, least of all with your sister who you've kissed.
There's probably a split second in his head where I went, and then just shut up about
just it. Then just white noise.
Yeah.
White noise, Luke. White noise. I kissed my... No, I didn't. I've never kissed anyone.
If you freeze frame, you can probably see the moment where he goes, oh, shit.
And then just... from that point on. So the rebels all meet on the large Rebel Alliance ship, where we get to meet some of the head honchos of the Rebel Alliance.
Yes.
Mon Mothma, who's essentially Enya, and also...
You what?
Mon Mothma, the old lady who's basically Enya.
Yeah.
She has kind of a Celtic mysticism to her. It looks like she'd win the Eurovision.
Who's she in terms of this place?
She's literally the head of the Rebel Alliance.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. And then we also have Admiral Akbar, who's head of the military.
Funny accent. Yeah.
He's very funny.
He's funny.
Had you seen him in anything before then?
Yes. Because
It's a Trap is a thing, isn't it?
Memes. Memes.
It's a meme.
It's a meme. He's a meme. That, like, I could tell that the line was coming up because he was framed in the way that he
was
is
sat in that
meme.
chair.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's coming. Hey, he said the line.
Did you expect the octopus man to be British like he was?
No, and that was very funny.
It's very funny.
I couldn't possibly have never been so offended in my entire life.
I just like the thought or the idea of him being in, like, you know, a gentleman's club, you know, those places where they don't let in people or women or people of colour.
Big wing-backed armchair.
You know, sitting there drinking a big scotch.
Yeah.
That ugly has just come in apparition. Yeah. I like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
he feels like an old man, but there's no way of telling that because he's a weird squid, but he feels like he's quite old.
I will say, though, he did do you a disservice in the sense that the next scene of the movie, you were like, where are they? Why are they doing this? Where are they going?
Yeah, I wasn't really
because
paying
it all
attention to
came
the
out
lines.
through this squid man going, they will go to the... Basically, they're going to the moon of this planet called Endor, where there's a shield generator. And if they blow that up, it means that they can blow up the Death Star.
If you'd have said that like that, I'd have been on board with that. I would have understood what was going on.
It wouldn't have been much of a meme if instead of him going, it's a trap! If it was me going, oh, it's a trap. Look, watch out. Lads. No, seriously, I start doing the wrap up thing, you know. Holding my phone up. Like, lads, no, seriously, go out. You're 7 minutes at this stage.
Yeah.
So they're off to destroy the shield generator, and they've got their own little team, which is basically the Star Wars All-Stars.
Yeah.
You know, they're all together there for this one.
So the shield generator's on a moon.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
A moon, which is a forest.
Yeah, forest moon.
Forest moon. Now, people always go, oh, they went to Endor. They didn't. They went to the forest moon of Endor. They never go to Endor. It's a moon going around Endor. Just so we're clear. Just don't start.
Yeah.
You know, just don't. Okay.
It's nice to have the footnotes in the middle of the podcast.
It is just like, I love that if that was a footnote in the script, like, just don't. No, don't start.
Okay, so they're on the moon of Endor.
They're on the moon of Endor, the forest moon of Endor, where we have probably one of my favourite scenes in a Star Wars movie ever. And I'd love to know your thoughts on the speeder bike chase.
This is great.
Yeah. There was a thing in the arcades back in the day where you could actually get on, it was like a race bike thing, but it was that, and it was just that scene, and you had to go, and it was so breakneck speed.
That looked really cool, the kind of flying bike things.
It's aged very well. Speeder bikes.
Yeah, like the fact that the close-up shots of people on the bikes looks a bit, especially in Blu-ray quality, looks a bit noticeably fake.
The Blu-ray actually did that a disservice, because usually normally I used to have that on VHS and it looked fine.
Yeah.
It's like the Ghostbusters thing we said, where you see like a bit of an outline almost.
But even still, I kind of liked that about it, and just the way it looked and the way it was shot was just great. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I really enjoyed it.
Combined both things of like a modern movie chase with also kind of like, I don't know, like a 70s cop movie chase or something like that in a sense.
There's a bit of, I know it's before this, but like it looked video gamey at some points. Like there's first person shots.
Yeah, exactly.
That might have then maybe influenced what people like.
It's really cool. It really works.
Awesome. Yeah.
A real like iconic scene. I love as well the various deaths of the people on speeder bikes. There's something really impressive and satisfying about seeing something go really fast, just go into a tree and explode.
Spinny death.
Other one goes,
that was cool.
Imagine if that's how you're dying.
Doing a big spin.
That noise.
If you hear that noise, you feel all dizzy and sick, and then you're dead.
I mean, I'd like to think that at his funeral, they go, he did die, it was tragic before his time, but if it's any consolation, they play the audio. That's
Laughter
funny. Everyone starts laughing, hugging, what a crazy old world we live in. Speaking of crazy and old, fucking Ewoks up in this.
We finally get the Ewoks.
Were they cute?
Yes. Well, yes. From a distance, yes.
Because from a distance, they're very cute. They are just little teddies, aren't they?
Yeah, adorable, and the way they move around and
get real close up though,
and do little jiggy motions with their hands. When you start seeing the face, depending on the Ewok,
not all Ewoks.
Not all Ewoks.
No,
they all have weird faces, but some have cuter weird faces than the other. But I think it's that there's human-like elements to the Ewoks.
It's like a dog with a human face.
It's like because the eyes are quite cute. The nose I didn't mind so much.
The lips and the mouth. The
lips and the mouth
quite
is
scary.
Weird. Very human-like. It's like kind of crappy like flash animations from the early to mid 2000s where they put horrible eyes and things on dogs and things and make it look weird. I've got a real solid visual.
Of what those
There was
are.
like a Crusher advert that was done by those people for the milkshake Crusher.
Yeah, I
Look
remember
it
the
up.
Crushers, yeah.
With the weird faces on things.
Ah, we need to look that up afterwards.
Yeah.
Need to get some Crusher
Such
afterwards.
a
Hope
shit
they
niche
still
reference.
make it. Otherwise, we can always get some Frege.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
that's
the
just
Frege.
good old stuff. Right? Yeah. So, Layla and Warwick the Ewok double team some scouts, and she uses all her diplomacy.
You said Warwick the Ewok there. So that's Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis, the name of the actual Ewok was Warwick. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
awesome, yeah.
Oh, I thought you just was like calling
No,
him Warwick
no.
'cause that's
He's
the-
Warwick is the Ewok, yeah.
Ah,
I know.
That's Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
As a child, you said.
He was like 8 years old. He was quite young, yeah.
Oh.
So, that's why he was the littlest one, you know.
Yeah.
So the gang search for Leia, who's disappeared, and on their travels, they get caught in a net. It's
a trap.
It's a trap.
Hey.
Literally. Lots of woks show up.
Yep.
They all think that C-3PO is God.
Yes, that's very funny.
That's a great
wonderful
misunderstanding. That's like a Blackadder level of...
Proper comedy misunderstanding.
Oh, they think Baldrick's a god. You know, that's exactly what would happen. You know,
Start worshipping and go, ooh.
so worshiping a big turnip or something. You know, that's exactly what they do. I thought it was great. I particularly like as well that they all took the rebel gang to that really hard as fuck level from Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, Treetop Village.
See, to me, it felt like Centre Parks. Donkey Kong Country.
It looks fun though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks nice. I'd like to go there.
They show you a thing of that, and then like a middle-aged man in a Hawaiian shirt going, "Oh, this is very easy to book and organise."
Yeah, exactly. You
And
want
there's
to go.
karaoke as well for dads, you know? Awesome. Center Parks. Luke uses the Force to scare the Ewoks who are about to cook them all in a feast in 3PO's honour.
Yeah, that escalated pretty quickly, didn't it? It's like, oh, he's a god, and then they start tying him up and cooking him, and C-3PO doesn't really do that much to stop it.
In fairness, it's kind of like you can see why they don't give a shit about 3PO, seeing as him and his precious programming couldn't give two fucks about his mates.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stop them from eating you alive. It's against my programming.
But this is more of the stuff that I identify with C-3PO about, that he's quite nervous and anxious all the time and looks out for his friends, but when he's given like a little bit of power, he starts to really enjoy.
He's too much of a straight arrow. He's too much of a straight arrow, is 3PO,
Yeah.
I think.
But I think he enjoys being God, doesn't he?
He does. He does like it for the moment. And I think there's a point where he turns to Solo and he goes, "Apparently you ought to be killed and eaten in a feast in my honour.
Sorry.
Who's stuffy now, Solo?" I like to think there's an internal monologue, a very sinister internal monologue that's going on inside of 3PO during the course of this entire movie.
Do you think the whole time R2-D2's going, "Stop, you fucking maniac," and he's going, "Yes, I agree, good point."
Good point. Yes, we should eat and kill them. So 3PO, now that they've all been saved, has all of them round, all the Ewoks, they all sit down, and he tells them some stories.
Yeah, he does a little stand-up set.
He does a tight five.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
will say, though, use the sound effects, a bit much.
Yeah.
You know, a
If
bit
it was
of
a
a...
stand-up gig, someone would be holding a dictaphone up to the microphone. It'd be really cringeworthy and horrible.
Seriously, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you see all these student comedians think they're Bo Burnham, like, and they're waiting for their sound effect to come in. Surprisingly, the disgruntled manager of the bar ain't going to play your sound effects on time, mate. Like. But anyway, it was quite fun as well, because I always liked when I was a child, this was like 3PO, was it, you know those books, the story picture books that have the little things on the side, the sound effects, and when you read through the books, it'll show you the sound effect, like, and then this happened, you press the button, it goes
like that.
Yeah. It was just like that. He had all the pre-rendered sound effects.
Yeah.
And also, another amazing noise which 3PO makes, which is when he's describing the Millennium Falcon flying into the Death Star, he goes, "Chim chimity chidoo."
It's quite...
Chimity chidoo.
I probably wouldn't have noticed it had you not kind of signalled that it was going to happen, but it was quite subtly hidden, wasn't it, the little chimney thing? If you weren't listening out for it, you'd kind of go...
I remember rewinding that on the VHS, like thinking that surely this was like it was a warping going, you know,
say chimney.
He's actually saying chimity chidoo. He sounds like a fucking sim for fuck's sake here, like.
During that scene, just when Luke's doing the kind of magic chair trick,
Yeah.
is that like the most he's used his force so far?
I'd say the most he's used his force is when he did that big flip-de-doo when he jumped off the off the sail barge. He jumps over the gangplank, does a double flip, catches his lightsaber.
But at this point, he's kind of using his force for like what looks a bit like a prank, bro.
Cheap parlor tricks, like. This season on Punk'd, you're not going to believe it when Ashton Kutcher becomes a Jedi Knight. I'm picking things up for that.
Leia comes out in that scene with, like, her hair completely different, and I'm wondering whether the Ewoks have, like, a salon or something.
Well, like, her hair is very crimped.
Yeah, it's really...
Very crimped.
Nicely done.
As a man who's seen hair being crimped in his time,
yeah,
that takes a while.
I think the Ewoks did it.
Ewoks
I think
obviously
there's one stylist Ewok.
Seriously, a really snazzy Ewok.
Yeah.
So Luke decides to have a bit of a DMC, deep meaningful conversation with Princess Leia. Just lay some fucking serious truths on her. He's, you know, he does it in a roundabout way. Instead of saying, I mean, if I found out someone was my sister, I'd be like, fuck, seriously, you're not going to believe it. All right, I've got a sister and it's you, or you're my sister. Instead he goes, force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it.
You're my sister.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You're my sister.
So Leia comes back to that with a kind of somehow I've always known.
Yeah, that's why I kissed you.
She must have had the... Somehow she's always known.
I was going to say, in this situation with the whole kissing stuff.
I don't think you did always know.
But like, with the whole kissing stuff, I keep going, it's Luke's responsibility because he's the Jedi. He should have known. He should have used the Force to know that shit was wrong.
She knew as well.
She claims she knows as well. Have we got a consensual...
I think they've both had this moment and they've gone, right, we both know, and we're just never ever going to talk about this. They probably, little meeting of their eyes was like, yeah, and that happened as well. And it is confirmed you are now my sister.
In fairness,
you have always been my sister.
It's about as helpful as the dad going in where the boiler is like going, I knew this would happen. You know, you didn't though.
Cheers, mate.
You would have fucking said something, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, so she now knows.
She's pretty cool with it.
He knows. Everyone knows.
I was going to say, if you ever find yourself, you know, again, in that hypothetical scenario, finding out that you've, you know, been kissing a sister, you're wondering how to deal with it. I mean, they do deal with it pretty fucking as good as you can deal with it.
You know what? To be fair, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot more awkward.
Yeah. It's not too bad given, you know, what could have happened.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it went just as well as the two ghosts told him it would. So Luke has come to the conclusion that as Darth Vader is nearby and he is part of this group, that he's just going to endanger them because he knows that Vader wants them.
Yeah.
So he says that so they can complete their mission, he's just going to turn himself in.
Very nice of him.
Handy.
Yeah.
See ya. So Luke turns himself in, and Vader is being very coy when he's talking to him. He's kind of like, Father, I still think there's good in you. So you've made a new lightsaber?
Yeah, he keeps calling him Anakin to sort of wind him up because he knows that bothers him and trying to get the good out of him. He's like, no, that name doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
Leia comes up to him, oh, I heard you two had a bit of a chat. How's it going, you know? Father, I still see that there's good in you. You can come back. You are my father, Anakin. That was lovely bacon we had yesterday, wasn't it? I usually don't go to the butcher's now just for bacon, but I think it was worth it.
He is proper being a dad, isn't he?
All that for £3.
Deep conversation met with, like, just casual chit-chat.
Casual chit-chat. And did you get that lightsaber from Maplin's then? Or did you make it yourself? Or you ordered online? Ah, sure. I mean, I still go on the high street myself just to get the messages. You know. Ah, no, it's a good lightsaber. No, it's good.
Just after that scene with Vader and Luke, there's a bit where he's sort of like, I must obey my master, blah, blah, blah. And then Luke goes away or something, or Darth Vader turns around, and he conveys a whole lot of emotion.
Oh, it's at the end of the scene when you know, when Luke is getting on. Yeah, it's usually right at the end.
He looks down, and you can see how sad he is through his weird mask helmet thing.
It was really, really... I mean, David Prowse did the body of him, and I don't think he always just gets kind of, I think, assumed that he's just a stand-in and whatnot.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I mean... A lot of it was the fact that he was just a big, tall lad.
But that's some clear body language
but
right there.
In this movie, there's a number of times where you are just like, he's got no facial expression at all, but you just from the tip of the head, there's a lot of emotion conveyed there. And I think it was actually...
really sad.
It's really sad, you know. The Vader is not happy with his middle management. His son won't talk to him, you know.
He's having a right nightmare.
Keeps calling him by his name before he got married. Got remarried to Emperor Palpatine. So the bunker assault happens, and they want to go and do a sneak attack, but a little Ewok runs in.
He gets carried away.
It does work as a distraction, though.
It is cute.
Simultaneously, Luke arrives at the Emperor, who explains that everything that they've done is basically one big trap. It is a trap.
It's a trap.
Start to finish, it's a trap.
Yeah.
And basically he's saying, you're going to join me, or you're going to be killed.
Yeah.
And he makes Luke look out the window. So we can see all the guys who've all arrived now. The shield generator is still up.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to get killed. And he's like, you look out there now. Look at everyone dying.
There's all your mates, mate.
Look at you're shit. Yeah. And Luke is there going, oh, I proper want to kill you. And he goes, if you want to kill me, that means I win. Because that means you hate me. Light side shit, dark side, way. You know,
Pretty much. It's a weird power play thing going on.
It turns out that there is a whole lot of guys waiting for the bunker assault team. His best men, and they're getting the shit knocked out of them.
When all the people who are before the defense shield, they do realise it's a trap, don't they? Just in time.
They realise because Lando's like, who's flying the Millennium Falcon, by the way, realizes that their signals are being jammed, which means that, well, the only reason that could be happening is they knew that we're coming and the shields are up.
Yeah.
Which then leads them to realize that it is a trap.
Yeah.
And Admiral Akbar is like, lads, it's a trap. And
it's a trap.
It is a trap.
So when the Emperor's pointing at them, they've all kind of stopped there, haven't they? Because they're like, there's a shield there, we know this.
Because they tried to turn around, but then all the Star Destroyers,
so they're kind of
behind
trapped.
them. So yeah.
So okay, right.
Not only is it a trap, but they are trapped in the trap.
Yeah.
Trapception.
See, I thought what he was saying was like, look, they're going to go into that defense shield and they're going to get blown up. But he's saying they can't get through the defense shield, and we've got men who are going to come and shoot.
Yeah, it's a double. It's your standard catch trap-T2 situation.
Chimney trappity-doo. Yeah, it's that kind of situation.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
When he actually said the line, was it underwhelming? Because I always feel that it's kind of like he just goes, "It's a trap." You know, he doesn't go, "It's a trap." Waka waka waka.
It's all right, isn't it? It's fine. It's just, I could see that he was in the right place to say it, and they said, bah, 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 it's done and it's over, and we've all had a good time.
I think he says funnier things, like operational. That's way funnier when he says the word operational.
I understand why it's a trap caught on, because it's the rhythm of it. It's
a trap. I think he doesn't blink, so his eyes are open mad. Yeah. So he's like mad fucking.
He's got a funny mouth. He's a weird squid, and he says it weird. It's great. Yeah,
works. So the bunker ambush decides to go ahead. It looks like they're all going to be killed by this elite super squad, but all the Ewoks come.
Yay!
And the Ewoks, at moments, it's like, oh, look at the Ewoks. They threw rocks on those mean stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the Ewoks. They garroted that stormtrooper, and now they're all surrounding him and hitting him with pointed sticks.
Some of it is like funny Home Alone style booby traps.
And then some of it is the kind of Home Alone 2. No, seriously, this is a little bit worrying, kind of. Fucking hell. I mean, the Ewoks aren't there with a talk boy, folks. They're fucking ramming these guys with logs and bricks and all sorts in between.
They are murdering people.
They are, and you've got Ewoks versus Empire. It's kind of even-handed. Looks like they're probably going to get killed, though.
Now that's a film I'd watch.
That would have been
Ewoks versus Empire.
Ewoks versus Empire. Yep. Straight up,
versus Predator.
Back on the Death Star, we have a very important line from the Emperor. He tells Luke that his friends are all going to die. Also, now witness the firepower of this fully operational battle station.
Yeah.
And he blows up one of the rebel ships. People weren't happy about that.
Scary.
And at the same time as well, R2-D2 gets fucking shot.
Yeah.
He gets one right between the fucking eye.
Gets all frazzled.
Let's go back to Game of Thrones. You were right. They're dropping like flies. This is season 5 all over again.
I was sort of feeling like people. Was R2D2's not dead, is he?
He gets shot and he goes.
Yeah.
He gets glitched.
There's a whole lot of jeopardy here. People are dying left, right, and centre.
Leia gets shot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel like people could just go down at this point, because it's right when this came out.
Yeah.
Was it like this is the final one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So it does feel legit. Like
you would expect that someone would die.
Yeah.
And you're kind of thinking that someone will die at this point.
And some quite big characters have died.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. They're fast and loose when it comes to killing people in this one. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker finally start their lightsaber fight to see who's going to win Season 6 of The Apprentice, to become The Apprentice.
Yeah.
They have quite an impressive lightsaber fight. It's one of my preferred ones, which is this time, as opposed to Luke being completely overpowered like he was in Empire, he's holding back because he keeps saying to Darth, oh, I can save you. You're still good. I love the difference between the two movies, that Luke is now completely this different character. That's nice to see kind of progression like that.
Lovely.
Back on the Forest Moon, Chewie and some Ewoks nick a chicken walker, aka an ATST. The two-legged variety of the AT-AT. The AT. What did you think of them? I think they're awesome. They're all wonky with their legs. I love them.
It's just, it's funny when you get robots that walk like real things.
Like chickens.
Yeah.
Particularly when, like, the logs get rolled down, the one goes all wonky and his legs go all... and then he falls over and blows up. Chewie is funny. Chewie with a gun, as we said before, is funny.
Chewie in a robot.
Chewie in a robot going... and then closing it over is just... It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Where are you going in that thing, Chewbacca? You're going to find your friends.
Yeah.
They blow up the bunker. It's awesome.
Yeah. There's a bit between Leia and Han at this point, isn't there?
Yeah, when Leia's been shot and like a guy looks like he's about to get the drop on them, and Han puts up his hand and he looks over and sees that Leia's actually got her gun out. It's really cool.
And he does the "I love you" and she does the "I know." Switcheroo.
You know what? Is it because everyone's in established the only relationship in this is like established now, and there's no this kind of flirting and wooing.
Yeah.
That there was a lot less fucking Jesus with the writing in this one, and
it was fine.
There was none of that weird Empire fucking awkward as fuck.
No,
sexual tension.
All right.
It's all right. George Lucas is okay once they're in a relationship, I guess.
I found that quite cute. They did the backwards thing. Yeah,
there was a kind of a genuine. I don't know.
It was sweet.
It was.
I'm
sweet.
okay with it now.
I'm okay with it now. We got there in the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
Darth steps over the line when he starts talking about Luke's sister. And if you don't turn to the dark side, then perhaps your sister will.
Your twin sister.
And Luke is like, don't you talk about my sister! And he comes out and he goes fucking hell for leather. I love it. He's like beating the fuck out of him with his lightsaber. He's hitting him so hard that like he's like has to take a knee and lean up against something. I love it.
During that first part of that fight, the Emperor, he's sitting on his little chair and they're down the stairs a bit.
Yeah.
He looks like a sort of umpire doing shitty commentary on the fight. It's just, it's horrible.
And when he sees Luke going really like off the kilter and getting really angry, he's like,
now you're about it. You care about your sister. Your path to pure evil is complete.
Yeah.
You care for your loved ones. Now you are truly evil. You bollocks.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about being the Jedi, the light side of the Jedi, is that they very much have to be the pariah on your own sum. You can't be like all caring for everyone. You have to care for people very much in a broad strokes David Cameron's Big Society type of way. You know, that's how Darth got seduced to the dark side as well. So it's interesting to see this here. So Darth loses the fight here. He actually loses his hand.
Yeah, he's got an arm off.
Another great noise, which is when Luke cuts off his hand, Darth goes... like a real, like...
It's again like the guy in the suit being kicked in the bollocks at Krusty Land.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Does Luke realise that they both got robot hands at that?
That's it. Is when he sees Darth lying there and the Emperor's like, you've chopped off your father's hand. And Luke, look at his hand, then Luke looks at his hand, then Luke looks... I think he thinks back to Empire where the roles were reversed. And straight away, the metal hand that Luke has is meant to kind of remind him of Vader and the fact that Vader he's more machine now than man. So it's a very heartfelt moment, and Luke throws his lightsaber down and says that he will not hurt him. He will not go full Heisenberg this episode.
Yeah.
You have to wait for a later season for that to happen. And the Emperor responds with lightning
hands.
Fucking love lightning hands. Love it.
Why does he have that?
If you are super badass next level Jedi, lightning.
You can make lightning come out.
It's a dark side power.
Okay.
It's something you never really see you only see it in the prequels. It's one of the things the prequels are good at, is that they kind of establish a lot more of what the Force actually is, what it actually means to become a Jedi, the differences between good and bad. And like the powers, like you get certain powers, for instance, if you're all the way good, and certain powers if you're all the way bad. So it's a mark of a pure evil Sith if you can do lightning. Like it's pretty hardcore.
It is quite scary.
Yeah, like Vader doesn't do lightning, for instance. You know, it's a next level upper management kind of. You know, you get the corporate car, you get the lightning. You know, you get the keys to the corporate bathroom. You're set. Vader watches as his son is covered in blue electricity.
Now I could see the whole Vader stopping this thing is quite heavily, I guess not signposted, but you can see it.
They're cutting back to him.
Yeah, you can see him looking.
He's
more
doing
guilty.
a face.
He lets his son get really properly fucking hurt before he steps in to do something about it.
I guess it's to imply
that he's really thinking about it.
Not only is he thinking about it, but like the whole thing of like he's not just saving his son. The whole betraying the Emperor is not just even betraying his master. It's breaking this whole like the Sith thing of there have to be a master and apprentice, and him betraying his master is like what?
So your son's got to get really fucked up before you get to the point where you snap and you throw him off the thing.
Yeah, I mean he has to do more than consider it. So
Yeah.
I think it's when he literally sees that Luke is about to die.
He's like, right.
And maybe he was thinking as well that I think what Vader was hoping for was that the Emperor would be kind of like, now there's your lesson. You're going to join us, and it'll be all three of us together.
Yeah.
Full house
Not
with
happens.
Emperor Palpatine.
He's now actually killing him.
But he's actually going to kill him, and I don't think he realised that would happen.
Yeah.
And as he does, you get the triumphant. I remember seeing this in the cinema and standing up, like going, because it was like so like this primal emotion of seeing Darth Vader pick up the Emperor, who's got lightning going everywhere, going, and then he fucks him down a hole, going. I love that there's lightning still coming out of him.
Yeah.
It's like he's cut him off mid-piss.
Yeah.
Like he's still pissing. Like, hang on! And he saves his son.
Yeah!
And it's so cool because, like, you know, Vader's a big fucker. He's like 7 foot. And the fact that he press slams him and he's been all electrocuted. You see his skeleton and all that.
Yeah.
And then he's all like, I'm dying, son.
I know saying, like... saying shiny helmet is funny or whatever, but like early on he has a very, very polished,
proper polish.
Yeah, and it's also, and then like when he's all beaten up, it's a bit dull and dusty and
dinked
knackered.
up, like yeah. It's fucking awesome.
I like that about it.
So Darth Vader turns face. In the meanwhile, we get a fucking kick-ass star battle. It's probably my favorite one in any Star Wars movie. Just so much shit going on screen, and seeing the big giant super star destroyer get blown up by a kamikaze pilot that then goes into the Death Star. It's like,
that was cool. Yeah,
awesome. It was like watching a giant space station being stabbed with another space station that happened to be pointy.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit, man.
Lovely. Lando's mate does a funny laugh.
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yen Mun.
What's his name?
Oh, don't ask me his name because I
sorry.
pronounce it. It's Yen Mun, I think.
Okay.
But he goes, ha ho 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 ho.
Yeah,
The Millennium Falcon. Ho, ho, ho. I think, could be wrong,
Yep.
but all the aliens who have all the voices in this is just George Lucas hating various ethnic minorities. Going, I can make fun of them. I'm worried.
Weird approximations.
It's only when you're doing the voices on a podcast you realise, kind of go, if someone just listened to this out of context, it could be sound like I'm mocking a certain group of people. Darth Vader demasks and then de-lives.
Yeah.
He wants to take off his mask, look at Luke one more time.
He looks proper fucked up, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Looks like
big knackered.
Big knackered.
He looks like a big knackered.
He looks like a big knackered. Joe, who we watched it with, said that he looked like it was a half-eaten boiled egg.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like maybe like a pickled egg, and that there was a little bite taken off the top, kind of going, "Oh no, that's not for me." But seeing Vader there, the whole time, scary Vader, who was also scary and badass, is actually this like old,
vulnerable old man,
squidgy man. He looks like if you gave him if you properly poked the center of his head, I'm pretty sure
it wouldn't go back out.
It wouldn't, and like his eye would probably fall out, and lots of yellow goo would come out of it as well. You know, it was sad, but he's like, "You were right. You were still good."
Yeah.
He finds out that he's got a sister. He's like, you have to tell her. Da, da, da. It's lovely. It's nice fun. Luke gets off. Death Star gets blown up.
Did I miss Luke getting off and getting away?
Literally, like the thing is falling apart as Lando is blowing up the core. Luke just chucks him onto a shuttle, and you just see him leaving the hangar.
He's trying to drag Darth onto a ship, isn't he? But
he stops, takes the mask off, and then you see literally just him pulling up the thing closing, and then a thing of Luke in the cockpit going, "Oh, we're leaving now."
Okay.
But yeah, Lando blows up the center of the Death Star.
Yep.
Blows up spectacularly, and everyone does a big celebration.
Hey! End of the movie. Loads of nice fireworks and shots of all these different places celebrating. Like, there's a big barbecue at Centre Parks or whatever it is. They're all having fun and dancing.
Did you hear the Jar Jar Binks guy when they flew over Naboo? It was one of the Blu-ray ones. You can very vaguely hear someone go, "It's a free." Thanks for including that, George. All the I will say, actually, out of all the ones we've watched on Blu-ray, this is the one that had the least garish. Well, that's not part of this movie.
Yeah.
Other than the singing scene at the start, but
They
that
had
was
some
brought
extra
in.
singers in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, though, it actually held up quite well, man, because the space battle was all done using models and stuff. It looked quite good.
There wasn't any disgusting CGI or anything like that. Didn't need to be there.
Darth Vader gets burnt by Luke, sets his corpse on fire.
I now understand the reference in Space.
I might
get
say
that now.
you understand a lot more of space now
Yeah,
that you've watched the
yeah.
original trilogy. And then, in true fashion, to end this one off nicely, looks over, what does he see? What it's all about. 3 ghosts on a shirt. Talk about Jedi coming home. They're all there. Luke's there, looking over at Yoda.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. Hayden Christen's there for some reason.
Some young bloke, yeah.
In the original trilogy, okay, and even in the remakes ones which came out in 99, it was just the actor who you saw taking off the Darth Vader
Old
helmet,
man one.
looking normal,
Yeah.
all cleaned up. Because that's assuming that's what he looked like when he was older. Seeing Hayden Christian there, who looks younger than Luke, was why? That's the worst thing about... The worst thing about this Blu-ray, I think, was that. I mean, I didn't regret watching it on Blu-ray, any of them, really, until that moment. I thought that was just a weird fucking...
Is that not supposed to be like, here he is before he was evil, and therefore that's who his ghost is?
I guess because you've not seen the prequel trilogy, you can't appreciate how
Okay.
not positive an image Hayden Christian is.
Oh.
But that's Return of the Jedi.
Yeah! I've seen Star Wars now!
You've done it!
Yeah!
Yes!
Oh, that was a good noise. That was a good high five. We did it.
You've done it.
Yeah.
You're normal.
I'm normal now.
2 questions. Number 1.
I'm going to go to Subway and get a Star Wars
Go to
sandwich.
Subway. Get that black Star Wars burger from Burger King. 2 questions. Number 1.
Okay.
Are you excited to see The Force Awakens now?
Yeah?
More so? Less so?
More so.
Because
Yeah.
there's loads of, the main thing about it is that it harkens back a lot to previous movies.
Now, C-3PO is not dead, so I'm hoping he's in The Force Awakens.
Who else? Who do you want? I'm not telling you anything.
refuse to tell me.
I'm not telling you. I'm not spoiling it for you.
I know the main...
Because it wasn't spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And I was really fortunate. And when,
Okay.
after seeing that movie, I was like, you know what? I'm so happy and fucking...
You didn't know anything
that
about
I didn't know anything going in.
I know the main crew are back in it. So Leia, Han, Luke.
Yeah.
They're in it. Chewie.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything more.
You're just dead.
But you are, I mean, because it harkens
wanna
back
go
so
see
much
it,
to this
yeah.
trilogy, and I think you've seen the trilogy quite recently, and you've talked about it for a podcast, so I think you're in a good position.
Yeah.
Because I have to do a lot of kind of, oh yeah, shit, I mean, I hadn't seen this movie in like 5 or 6 years, so this was the first time I'd seen it in a long ass time, so I think you're probably in a good position for that.
Do I need to have seen the
Prequels?
to appreciate the... Okay.
Nah. This is very much for the fans of the trilogy.
I feel some weird weight has been lifted off me now. I'm now like
You've done it.
a normal person. I know there's other films, but this feels like the big one, and now it's done. It's quite an emotional moment.
How did Jedi stack up, and then more importantly, how does the original Star Wars trilogy stack up?
Very good, I'd say. I'm not gonna go crazy and be like, this is the best film ever. I
You
love
were
it so
very
much.
uncritical of it, though.
Yeah, there's not much bad stuff.
Yeah.
In this film.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Jedi on its own
Okay.
first.
So maybe the strongest, I think, or
Really,
at least
yeah.
the second strongest.
This was my favourite. When I was a kid, this one was my favourite.
Yeah.
Mainly just because it had the most action, the most, weird shit, loads. I mean, what I loved about Star Wars was just the universe. I felt this had, a real sense of place of
I
all
think
the different characters you
The
see. in it.
pacing and the way the story played out was really good in this. I think
In retrospect, I went back and I said that Empire was my favourite. But honestly, after watching Empire and then watching this, I think I probably still prefer Jedi now.
Yeah.
You know, I think Empire is just regarded as being the best one. But Jedi is probably...
this was really good.
Where would it rank? Where would you rank the 3 then? What's your most favorite, second favorite, third favorite out of the 3 Star Wars?
See, to me, the last two kind of have slightly blurred into each other a
Yeah.
bit in my mind. So now I kind of want to put this up there, and then I'm not sure about where the other two fit in.
Yeah, but you're saying Jedi's on top for you at the moment.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
I think so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ewoks didn't ruin it for you because people think that the Ewoks ruined the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they were fun.
I think so. I never.
really fun.
I mean, there's Jar Jar Binks and there's the Ewoks.
I
You
don't
know,
think
and the
that's
Ewoks weren't annoying.
No.
They were
Do
like
people really think they
people.
they
People hate the fact that the Ewoks killed Imperials and stuff like that. And
Yeah, that's great.
I think it was cool.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a fucking movie. Jesus Christ.
Some little bear saved the day. Why are you upset about that?
Why do you have to rain on the little teddy bear's picnic? You're in for a big fucking surprise, mate. Let me tell you something right now.
Yeah, no, I thought that was fun. That was one of my favourite. I like the Ewoks. I really enjoyed them.
That's good.
Yeah.
Star Wars trilogy as a whole then, did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, I think so. It didn't
Are you
necessarily massively exceed it or anything.
Are you surprised that you like? Because I'm surprised you liked it, if I'm honest. Because I didn't. I thought that Star Wars would be. Star Wars is very easy because it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fold your arms and go. Ah. You know, it's easy to hate this.
No,
movie
I definitely
if you want
understand
to.
why it's such a big deal. I don't think I'm coming out of this as like a Star Wars fan. But that's not to say I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I've now seen Star Wars. I liked Star Wars. I think for now that's probably as far as it goes.
You're not going to be, finding out, getting figures and extended universe and shit like that.
No. But I think if there's a T-shirt with Han on it. I couldn't think of a better
Han and eggs.
But I think I could feel justified enjoying some of the pop culture things.
So you feel like you're part of that? Yeah, you can.
And I can get away with it and not feel inherent guilt.
Overall, was it different to what you thought it would be compared to what people hyped it up and all that? Because I always find that it's a lot more straightforward, I think, than people might think. People, I think, might assume that like Lord of the Rings or even Star Trek, it's very complex, it's very dense. Star Wars, you can sit down and I think you can explain the plot of the 3 movies in like 10 minutes and not lose out.
I think Star Wars, the thing that if you haven't seen it, because the way people who are fans of it talk about it, they make it sound a lot more complex and
you can pull back that layer and you can start going in.
You can start delving in and going into all the expanded stuff
and going to all the chimney-chadoos, all in there.
You can find a lot of stuff in it, but if you just want to watch it on the surface as what it is, it's quite easy to understand and enjoyable and fun.
Absolutely.
But I think that might be why it's kind of alienating to people who haven't seen it. Because
I guess so. Yeah,
talks about it is a bit. It does feel like a Lord of the
Rings. It's still 3 movies and they ain't short movies. No, so I guess that kind of factors into it. Yeah. So if you were to hazard a star wipe rating then for this film, what would it be?
4. Over it is. Thank you for listening to another episode of Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by Kevin, it was edited by me, Sam, and the music was also by me. You can vote for our upcoming episodes over at facebook.com/cinemaswirl. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, that's @cinemaswirl. And if you have any questions, queries, comments, or anything else you want to send to us, send it to cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to us on whichever podcast thing you use, and hey, if you like the show, leave a rating, why not? Thanks again for listening. Bye.
Sometimes it happens in Cinema Swirl, particularly for me, if I've seen a movie a number of times, that this question might be in the back of my head when I'm watching it with fresh eyes, and I'm thinking that tonight when I'm watching.
The face, the fucking face you did there. Fresh eye.
Oh, Jesus Christ.